Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming from my bed because I didn't want to get out of bed. And yes, I am wearing clothing. I have a tank top on. And also I'm very sick. I have a double ear infection, so like if I'm not super energetic and like peppy like I normally am, that's why. So today I'm going to be talking about traveling. I have been traveling my entire life. I'm really fortunate, and I don't want this video to come off as something like me bragging or something like that, because I am really grateful for all the experiences I've had. As I've talked about in past videos, my dad grew up in Russia, so it's really easy for his family to jump in a car and drive down to Uzbekistan or to Ukraine or across Russia or wherever. Growing up, he wanted me and my siblings to have the same experience that he did, so instead of doing big gifts for like Christmas or birthdays or whatever, we just traveled. I'm really fortunate that my dad gave me the opportunity to see the world, because that's not something everyone gets the chance to do, so I'm really grateful that I've had the opportunity to travel so extensively. My favorite place in the United States, I have to say, is San Diego, California. And this isn't somewhere that my dad just took me because or whatever. My family actually lives there. My dad's brother, his wife, and my cousins are from San Diego. And I just love going out there. I've gone out there probably 4 or 5 times since my freshman year of high school, and I just love San Diego. The climate is perfect. It's like 70 degrees and all year. It's not humid. There's a lot to do. There's the beach. You can go hiking. There's great food. It's just beautiful. I was gonna go to college in San Diego at University of California, San Diego, just because I love the location so much and I wanted to spend 4 years there, but it's a little bit expensive. You can go to San Diego. I really recommend it. It's just a beautiful place, and it's only a 3-hour drive from Los Angeles, so you can make an entire trip out of it. So San Diego is my favorite place in the US. Outside of the US, I'd have to say my favorite place is Prague. I went there when I was 14 probably. It just was so unique and beautiful. It's a good combination of Eastern and Western Europe. You know, it's not super Slavic, but it's not like Paris or London if you've been there before. It just has beautiful architecture. It has a river that flows through the center of it, and there are just beautiful bridges. And I just remember I really liked the environment. There wasn't anything specific that I was like, oh my god, I need to live here, but it was just a great city, and I really remember enjoying my time while I was there. My least favorite place in the US is probably Boston. I went there when I was 15, and I didn't love it, you know. I like the Northeast. It's not like a very clean city. I didn't think that there was very much to do. I just thought it was kind of boring, so I didn't really love Boston that much. Outside of the US, Berlin was my least favorite city. I don't know if it's because I'm Jewish or what, but I just did not like Berlin at all. One of my best friends lives there, and I went to visit him. And like maybe I just don't like Germany. I don't know. Berlin, I think, was just trying too hard to be like this up and coming, like modern, cool, hip city, because a lot of it was destroyed during World War I and World War II. But like I just didn't like it, and I would have no problem if I never went back to Berlin. And obviously, like, this is just my opinion. If you're traveling to Berlin, you might love it. I just like did not like it at all. So someone said I should talk about the least typical places I've ever been. I have a list of a few like weird funky places in the US and outside the US that I've been. So my favorite place like to talk about, I guess, would be the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands are off the coast of Ecuador, and they're just a beautiful place where there's a bunch of extremely rare wildlife like tortoises or blue-footed boobies, just abundant with crazy wildlife. There's not a lot of people that live there. It's just really like wildlife centric. I went there when I was in 3rd grade on a cruise with my grandparents, and I just remember these giant tortoises like coming up to me because I was wearing a straw hat my mom had let me borrow, and they were like really intrigued by me. I remember snorkeling, and I almost died. Like a male bull sea lion, I was getting too close to his pride or his pack or whatever, and he like charged me in the water, and then realized that I was just like a little girl and zoomed away. But like literally he was like, you know, super close to me, and I almost died. But yeah, Galapagos Islands, really cool. I went to Estonia for a day, so I visited the capital with my siblings and my dad. It was probably when I was like 14. There's a boat that'll take you from Helsinki in Finland down to Estonia to Tallinn. So we just spent the day walking around the city, and that was really cool. I've been to Kentucky. I feel like Kentucky's not a place, like if you're gonna go over there, you're probably gonna go to Nashville, Tennessee or something. But my dad really wanted to go see like the mountain range in Kentucky and stuff. And I eat Kentucky Fried Chicken in Kentucky. That was on my bucket list, so done. I've been to Poland, and it was really important to my dad for us to see like Auschwitz and other concentration camps in Poland, since it was like a huge hub for concentration camps back in World War II. I really liked Poland. I liked going to the cities and seeing what's going on, but also from like a Jewish standpoint, like that was really important to me to see that stuff. And Poland actually, fun fact, has like some of the best ice cream in the world that I've ever had, like super good. I went to Brazil with my grandparents on a cruise. We went on a cruise down the Amazon River, and that was really cool. I remember that I ate like piranha, like they caught it in the river and then they like fried it up, and I tried some of it. It had really little bones in it, and that was cool. We went to like an island where a lot of native people still live, and it was cool to see like that kind of different environment, because that's not something that we really have here in the US, unfortunately. Brazil was cool. I probably would go back to South America just because I'm a Spanish minor, and I was so young when I went to Ecuador and to Brazil that I don't have great memories of it. Like I have few memories, but like I want to go back, obviously. I've been to Maine. My dad, my brother, and I went to Maine, drove on the coast, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I don't like lobster rolls, so that was kind of a struggle, but they did have really good seafood. Maine is very underrated. I definitely think that it should be more of a destination spot for people to travel to. It's not that cold, like it's not a big deal, but there's beautiful wildlife and landscapes, so love Maine. Another place that I should talk about what surprised me the most. I think Amsterdam surprised me the most. I didn't like it. I was 15 or 16 at the time, and I was with my dad and my brother, so maybe like I went with the wrong people, but I wasn't like, oh my god, like this is so great. But maybe it's because I didn't get to experience Amsterdam for what it is. We went to Berlin and then we went to Amsterdam, so maybe that trip was just off for me because I also didn't like Berlin that much. But I just had high expectations for Amsterdam, and it was not what I thought. I really liked the Van Gogh Museum. We went to an Indonesian restaurant that was really good. I loved the biking and the river and the canal and all. I liked the history of Amsterdam. I just didn't like the environment, I guess. It was just maybe because I was 15. So I would be willing to give it another chance. Also, what was surprising to me is when I went to Iceland with my dad in 2015. It was August and it was like 50 degrees. We went snowmobiling. Like I don't know, like obviously it's called Iceland for a reason, but like I just didn't think of it, and it was really surprising to me that it was so cold there, and there were like puffins everywhere. So that was a really cool experience going to Iceland. The flights are actually really cheap to go to Iceland. It's just like staying there is really expensive. But I definitely recommend going to Iceland in the summer because then you can see like the northern lights. I've been to Israel twice. I went with my dad and my siblings for spring break of my sophomore year of high school, and then I went on birthright after my freshman year of college. And I think what surprised me the most about Israel was you think of it and you're like, oh my god, there are all these conflicts, like I'm gonna be in danger. And like it's really not that dangerous. Like I didn't feel like I was being threatened at all at any point. Go to Israel, go see if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, like whatever you are, there's something there for everyone, and I really recommend going and just seeing those sites. It's a really beautiful country with beautiful people and great food and a lot to do and see. So Israel's not as bad as the news makes it out to be. I think another place I was really surprised by was Helsinki in Finland. Just like they had these like open markets, and like you could go and like take food, like blueberries, you could just grab some, because like if you don't know what you're buying, like you're wasting your money, so you might as well try it before you buy it. So that was really cool. It's right on the ocean. I really loved Helsinki. It was clean, it was beautiful, and I just have never thought about it before, so I think I want to go to more Scandinavian countries for that reason. And then someone asked me to talk about my best memories. I remember the first place I ever traveled internationally, other than like some like islands, was London. I was 7 or 8. I went with my parents, and that was really cool. I remember talking in a British accent the entire time because I was really into Harry Potter. And I remember going to the Tower of London, and there were like these giant crows hopping around, and they were feeding them like lamb hearts or something like that. That was really scary. I remember going to Spain when I was 11 or 12, and I ordered shrimp, and like all the head and like skin was still attached to the shrimp, and I had like a little bit apart and like the legs. That was really funky. I had a really great spring break with my siblings. My senior year we went to Kauai with my dad, and that was a trip I'm always going to remember. We did a lot of cool stuff, but it was just an eventful trip. I remember freshman year of high school, I spent a couple weeks in Florida driving around with my mom during spring break. I was in Disney for like 2 weeks or something. We drove and saw some friends. It was just fun, like road tripping with my mom. I'm always going to remember that. Pacific Coast Highway with my dad, so we flew into San Diego and drove all the way up to San Francisco over the course of a week, just like visiting different colleges in California and stopping at beautiful sites. And I love that trip so much that Mitchell and I are actually going to be doing that in less than a month for our 5.5-year anniversary. So stay tuned for that video. That'll be happening soon. I really recommend that trip. Like, I love Pacific Coast Highway. It's beautiful. Lots of natural beauty, lots of animals you get to see and stuff like that. So it's great. I've been to Italy like 3 times. I went with my grandparents when I was little. I went back with my family when I was like 13. And then I went and visited my friend in Milan when I was studying abroad in Moscow. So I really like Italy. I love the food. I love the people. There's just beautiful architecture everywhere. Lots of rich history and culture. So I think every time I go to Italy is a great time. I've been to Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota for sure, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Washington, D.C. So I've been to 29 states, and that's pretty cool. Like, I got to travel a lot with cheer and with my family and stuff like that, so that's been a really great opportunity. And then for countries, I've been to, let's see, Brazil, I've been to Canada, I've been to Czech Republic, I've been to Ecuador, I've been to Estonia, I've been to Finland, I've been to France, I've been to Germany, I've been to Greece, Hungary or Turkey, I can't remember. I was little and like I always mix them up because they're English words, and one of those two. Iceland, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Malta, Mexico, the Netherlands, Poland, Russia, St. Lucia, Spain, Switzerland, US obviously, the UK, Vatican City, and I might be missing a few like when I went to islands when I was really little, but those are like the main ones that I've been to. So yeah, I'm really lucky. I've gotten to travel across the world. It's been a great part of forming who I am today as a person. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about traveling or something like that, like, I am your go-to. I'm really grateful that I've had the opportunity to travel so much and have so much information about the world. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right, bye.